is a Bramble Jam podcast. Yes.
Oh, boy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the DCOM Descendants. I'm Bran. Aaron.
Okay.
So which is it, Bran? Are you introducing all of us now?
I was just going to go down the line. I'm Bran, Aaron, Dan.
Gosh, she's always trying to take over.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it the way you guys want to. And just like, hi, I'm Bran.
Oh, boy.
I'm Bran.
I'm Erin.
And I'm Dan.
That didn't
Why didn't
feel
you say
right.
it
It
for
felt
me?
better.
You should have said it for me.
I'm
That's
Bran. Aaron. That's Dan.
That's right. Hi.
That feels good.
It does feel
That's
great.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So this is Aaron's fault, is what you're saying.
I just feel like we normally introduce ourselves.
We do. We do. Aaron is not wrong. Aaron, we're not gaslighting you here. I'm not. Bran is. I'm not.
I just sometimes I like to try new things.
Yeah.
Great.
Good.
You're right. I slept through show prep, so that's on me.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
I'm Erin.
I'm Bran. It's great to be here.
Deck the hallmark.
Guys, we're trying to get to, if you remember, 100 reviews over
right.
on the Apple Podcast.
Are we at 99?
We're at 67.
Oh, we got
Ooh,
it.
okay.
Which is
That's
which is up.
We went up.
Which
That's
is up.
4 from the last time. It was at 63.
Yeah, you're right.
That was at 66, so your math is better than mine.
Man, I'm hoping I was 63. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We got 4 more reviews, Bran. Are they all positive? Any? There's no.
Tangerine 34 wrote a long one.
Okay.
How long did it take me to know what DCOM stands for? Too long is the answer. But growing up without cable in a rural Indiana.
Kerbal.
Sorry, no channel number.
Did
for
they have
Bran.
Certalite?
I never watched the Disney Channel. Plus, I am onboarding on OAP, old aged person status. Despite all the above, I love this podcast. Aaron and Dan having background conversation while Bran tries to recap the movie is quite possibly my favorite thing from any podcast ever in the universe.
See, there you go. I think the reviews are in.
I want to try out many of Aaron's delicious recipes that have been varying degrees of relation to the movies. I still have not watched a DCOM, but am considering Johnny Tsunami based on Dan's rating.
Okay, well.
That's interesting. As my movie opinions often mirror Dan's.
I really like Tangerine 34.
So, to recap, I'm getting old. My parents made me live without cable. Dan has the best opinions. Did you write this
Did
review?
I write this review?
And you
Maybe?
And you really should listen to this podcast if you love these movies, or even if you've never, if you never knew they existed.
Well, first of all, Tangerine 34, thank you so much. You're the
That was
best.
a great review.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, and Dan and I won't stop having side conversations.
We weren't planning to.
It
even
felt-
if the reviews were bad.
It felt so personal to you, though.
It really did. And I will say this. I would pump the brakes a little, like Johnny Tsunami relative to the other ones. So don't go in thinking we're getting...
You should watch it, though.
Well, I think
Citizen
Tangerine was
Kane.
saying, like, if they're going to watch any DCOM,
Yes.
they'll watch Johnny.
Tangerine
Tsunami.
34. Good looking out, though. I appreciate it.
Any other
Good looking
reviews?
out. That's it, I think.
Okay.
Did
Great.
we read LC823 from last week?
Gosh,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No?
Okay. The best DCOM podcast for sure.
For sure.
Because I definitely need an excuse to rewatch the DCOMs from my childhood. DCOM Descendants is the perfect way to start a Friday. Nashville, Tennessee, Channel 25.
Let's go. All right.
I think what the
Man.
people are saying
I
is
think I know who that person is.
we got something pretty special going on here.
Wow.
Share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends.
Let's-
Go and put a 5-star rating on their phone. Grab their phone.
We're gonna do a blitz today, everybody.
A blitz
everybody,
today, right now?
Everybody share this podcast with 3 of your favorite people.
See what happens if you all share it with 3. If you're
you share with
watching,
3,
and then they share it with 3. And then by this time, everyone in the world will be listening.
And here's the thing, everybody.
In the world.
If we look at the stats and we don't see a boost in the Rip Girls episode,
There's going to people there.
there's going to be hell to pay next
because you didn't take the blitz seriously.
You didn't take the blitz seriously.
That's right.
And you don't know what you don't know is we have actually figured out a way to track
To monitor.
those.
Blitzes.
And one person who did share it with 3 and got the 3 people to listen is going to win something pretty big.
Right.
Probably an electric car.
Probably an
That-
electric
Wow.
car, and
We're
we'll
gonna-
write it
We
off.
get to keep the tax.
We
We're
get to
going
use
to
the
buy it.
tax
We're going to
credit,
give
but
it
we're
to
gonna
you.
give it away.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
But 100
And
reviews.
if you get your 3 friends to listen and to buy you an electric car, then you have 3 electric cars, and then the
think
people
about
under
that.
them buy them an electric car.
Wow. And then you save the planet. It's unbelievable.
But don't do the
world.
Cybertruck.
We
I hear
boost
it.
the best decom podcast and save the planet
right.
in one blitz.
I think the Cybertruck's having problems. So maybe hold
Cybertruck,
off
yeah,
on that.
I would do,
Hold
recall
off on
it.
that.
I would stay clear of that.
But,
I would steer clear of that
yeah.
anyway.
I got a Leaf, and I love that stuff.
You got a Leaf.
A little Leaf.
I had a question, and it is this blitz.
Yeah.
This blitz that you're talking about. When you say we're going to monitor it,
Yeah, we have the tech.
we do have the tech,
Yeah.
so we can know after this episode airs if we don't see an immediate spike, we'll know that people didn't immediately.
Yeah.
Is what you're
We
saying.
have access to the who, what,
We
when.
know when everyone's listening.
Yeah, the who, what, when.
We're
have
like
that.
our own Patriot Act.
In a sense, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're not going to abuse it.
No,
It's
we would
just
never
to give away electric cars.
You can trust us.
It's really a tax umbrella for us. Like
course.
we think about it
Yeah.
that way.
But 100 reviews by episode 20? Is that the goal? Is that what we had
that's
said?
the goal, and I think
Okay.
we only got like 3 episodes left.
Oof.
So it's tight.
This is our 15th
Yeah.
movie. We've got to have 5 more left. Right?
Okay, great. I didn't know.
I think we have 5 more left. But still, we're going to need you to really get on your horse and go.
This one is
reviews.
number 16.
Yeah.
Number 16.
This is 16?
this is
I'm
16.
still missing one in my list because I put it on my list.
That's embarrassing. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
16.
super
Did it
embarrassing.
make 15 or did you have 15 when you added this?
It made 15, I believe. I'm looking now. Don't worry.
It's 16, so we have 4. Is that how it worked? So episode 17, 18. Yeah, 4. You know, sometimes I get a little screwy when it comes to like,
yeah, I have 16 on my list.
yeah. You'll get there, bud.
11, 12, 13, 14.
You don't have a
I only
number?
have 15.
That's interesting. Well, we'll figure that out at some point, Dan. We'll also figure out what today's delicious is
What's
because
the
it's the segment that we're in now.
Something I can do. I literally tried my fingerprint in there. Put my thumbprint in. See what happens on Aaron's phone.
Aaron, we got another beverage in front of us today, and after last week's sweet fun time,
What?
it was like chocolate
Say so, buddy.
something.
Okay.
Orange, wasn't there orange liqueur in there?
The banana.
Banana, that's
banana
right. Yeah.
split cocktail.
What do we got today?
So today we have a Hawaiian mimosa.
In honor of the Rip
In honor of the Rip Girls in for sure Hawaii and not at all Australia. At the end of the movie, there is a crucial part of the movie is that Sydney has to decide whether to keep or sell some land on the island.
Yes.
And then they toast with sparkling apple juice at the end. I figured we're all adults here. We can use actual champagne. There is a splash of coconut rum and pineapple in here and Hawaiian mimosa, which I think I'm the only one who will enjoy.
So it's champagne, champagne,
a splash of coconut rum,
coconut rum.
and then a splash of pineapple juice.
All right. Delicious.
Cheers.
Let's find out.
I mean, it does taste like you're on an island. It does taste like that. It's definitely too sweet for me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. That was so good.
Never been so freaking happy to live landlocked.
I'll take yours.
Yeah, please.
I'm
so thankful for you. I want you to hear that.
I didn't know you didn't like pineapple, and I learned that, and I will.
You
lock
don't
it
like
in.
pineapple?
I will lock it
Pineapple
in.
or coconut.
I freaking
Or
love
champagne.
pineapple just to eat, and then coconut also big fan, but it's too much sweet. It's too much sweet.
Too
there.
much sweet.
Yeah. Somehow Alley Cat Strike not on my list, even though I ranked it last week.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm glad you figured that out.
Did it make my
How do you
top 10? Does anybody remember?
That's it, huh? So that's it for you? Just the 3 ingredients, and you whip it up and you throw it in there.
And that's delicious.
How about that? I love that.
Yeah, it was nice and simple, delicious. If you would like to feel like you are on an island while you watch this movie or watch this
It does
review,
feel very tropical. I'll say
Very
that.
tropical. So
Yeah.
tropical. Whip that up because we're taking a break. When we come back, we're talking Rip Girls.
The
Rip
Rippest.
Girls.
Obviously.
Here on Decom
Decom
Descendants.
What's up, all you Rip Girls?
and boys.
and boys.
All you Rip kids out
you
there.
Rip lads.
Rip lads.
Rip lads. The ex-blads. It is great to be here today on this here Friday talking about Rip Girls. Making our way through the DCOM discography. Filmography.
Happy May to you guys, by the way.
It's kind of May.
And well, it is currently May.
It's currently May.
There you go.
Rip Girls, April 22nd. We actually watched it on April 23rd.
I know. So
we celebrated the 24th anniversary.
24th anniversary of the film by
Girls.
watching it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that was very intentional, obviously.
Yes, we knew it.
What if we did
We
them
actually
in that
planned.
order?
We planned the launch of the show. Remember, we pushed the launch back a week.
That's right. We were like, no, we got to hit it.
Because we wanted to hit.
Well, a lot of these movies came out in April, so
It's tough. It
would be tough for us.
Yeah.
Surprise! 8 episodes are coming out
8
today.
episode drop?
It's a blitz.
It's a blitz.
That's a blitz. Yeah.
Send it to 3 people. That's all we're saying. It's a 3-person blitz. You can do that. Directed by Joyce Chopra. I don't think I've seen that name yet in the DCOM canon.
My guess would be Chopra there.
Chopra.
I'm going Chopra.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
It's spelled the same way as Priyanka.
Yeah.
Chopra.
Deepak,
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Priyanka, a lot of Chopras out there.
Yeah. How do you know what sound the O makes?
I think from experience hearing it,
But like, you know, how do you know when it's a cho?
I think it depends on the language of origin and just like how people pronounce their names.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
It's just an American. It says an American director.
Yeah, if I don't know, I usually will do a quick Google and try to find an interview or something with the person where they will introduce
you guys
themselves.
are so good at your jobs.
I just try to be respectful.
You
of
just
the
try
I
to treat
love
people, just like treat people like they're
human,
people.
You know,
No,
whatever their preferred name or pronoun is.
I
we
think
try to use those.
I
do our
think
best,
my
anyway.
thing with names is even after hearing them, I mess it up, and so it's
You're not going to put any more work into it than you have to.
because I'm going to mess it up regardless. Let's mess it up
There's
the
a lot going
authentic
on in
way.
your brain,
a lot
so,
going on.
yeah.
Guys, letters are so confusing. Starring Camilla Bell
Academy Award winning
and Dwyer Brown.
Yeah.
with an I.
Not Camilla Cabello,
No, very different. So the movie kicks off, and
which I knew just the names.
Is it really Camilla Cabello? Is it really? There's no hard L in there?
who? What we're talking about?
The singer.
Oh,
Camilla
Camilla.
I
Camilla
think
Cabello?
I think that's how she says it.
Right on. Learn something new.
Sydney is our main character, and she is with her family. What?
Just kidding.
Good Lord.
That's side me. Side me.
Y'all are
Sorry.
so mean. You're mean. You're nice to the people's names you don't even know. Mean to little old Bran, who you've known for years. Sydney is going back to Hawaii for the first time. She's on a plane with her family.
For the first time since she lived there.
Yes, she used to live there a long time ago, hasn't been back. And she moved away after her mom died.
R.I.P.
You might be wondering.
Girl. She's a rib girl.
You might be wondering,
Obviously.
how did mom die?
We don't know.
Surely Sydney knows. She doesn't.
Will mom be back as ghost mom? We don't know.
We don't know yet.
that
Some of us
information.
did know.
Some of us don't though. Is what I'm saying.
You know how we got there, though, right, Erin? Like, if you had never
You
seen
could
this movie
see how
before,
we got to ghost
for
mom.
sure.
Okay.
There is a lot leading up to she is going to have some sort of encounter with the
Ghost
spirit
mom.
of her mother.
so
I mean, that cat is doing a lot of work.
cat's doing a ton
For
of work.
no ghost
So
mom.
many.
You're telling me that
crazy.
cat. You're telling me that cat. Oh, we'll get to it. She.
Save it. There's a
is-
lot of plot to get to
The
here.
cat
So save
is
it.
the highest paid actor on that set.
They got
Should be.
they got Salem from
By
Sabrina the
acting
Teenage
ability.
Witch.
Yeah.
It's the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Salem doesn't come for nothing. Got to pay that cat.
Well, Hocus Pocus, Salem, same cat.
Wow.
Good actor. That's
That cat
animatronic.
rules.
Cat.
That cat rules.
Cat.
So they land there and they get to the house, and we see someone watching them with binoculars.
Binoculars?
Binoculars
Hand me my binoculars.
from the bushes. From the bushes.
Hand me them binoculars. I'm gonna throw an R in there just for the fun of it.
They're binoculars because you check out birds.
Okay.
A bird nocular?
Bird nocular?
Birdnocular.
It's not a bad name.
Not a bad name. Write that down for Double Decker of the Week.
Yeah, birdnoculars.
Birdnoculars.
Yes.
Well, if I just text Brian, no context.
Write it down. Yeah, tell him.
Just
No
text
context.
him birdnoculars, ask me later.
So Sydney begins to roam the island, taking pictures of, I would best describe them as rip girls, personally.
There's a few rip lads out there.
Yeah, there's a few rip lads.
They're surfers.
They're surfers, is
For
what
those
we're
of you
trying
in
to say.
layman's terms,
That
we
aren't
say rip girls.
Hip with the
Lingo.
the rip lingo.
Birdnoculars.
So an attorney shows up late, obviously, because he had to hang 10.
I mean, when the waves are
when
waving.
the waves are calling.
Waves
What
are
are you gonna
waving.
do?
They're waving. They're waving. They're saying, "Come here."
That's how they do things in Hawaii.
Yeah. That's
right.
That would drive me nuts. If the way you do things is we have a time set for something and then you just decide if the waves are calling you or not on your way over. Right?
Well, I mean, he was only like 5 minutes late, so I think that's
okay.
fine.
So the waves called him just
I
a
mean,
little
if
bit
he's
extra.
blowing the whole meeting off for waves,
Yes.
I'm a little annoyed. But if he's walking
5
in a few minutes late,
whatever.
sure, waves.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
And honestly, kudos to him for being honest about it. Some of us 5 minutes late just cuss, and so he could have made it up.
You know, traffic
He could
on
have
the
said,
island.
"Oh, the coffee line, whatever." No, you just said the waves were calling.
Waves are calling.
I was on my way. Those waves are waving.
He informs the family that this is their house, their estate, and grandma. Once mom died, grandma, I don't know. Anyway, grandma's dead now, and so now it goes to Sydney. And I thought
Sydney
about
is the last living heir of this property.
Yes,
Grandma has died.
That is the one sentence explanation of mom, grandma, grandma.
yes. And I
Mom
think
died a decade ago. Grandma
right.
just died.
everybody knows these rules, but I'll say it out loud.
Okay.
Once it happens, you need to stay on the land for 2 weeks. And then
it's an obvious
in-
stay on there 2 weeks.
it's
situation.
a 2 weeks. Two
Well,
weeks.
it's in like that specific will. It's not all of Hawaii land law.
Oh, that's
So
my
grandma is like,
Everyone I've ever known that this has happened to has the 2 week law.
Of course, the
I
2 week
think
rule,
it's
yes.
it's a 2 week rule.
and if you leave early, then you forfeit it all.
You forfeit.
But you can't leave to go get
It's
a snack.
a hand on the car, last one to
That's
take
right.
it off wins it
That's right.
situation.
Yeah. If this was a Hallmark movie, we'd find out that her high school sweetheart inherited the other half of the
Right.
land.
And they split it down the
She's
middle.
only 13,
Grandma
so that did not
left
happen.
two 13-year-olds
Right.
half of a multi-million-dollar resort. Figure it out, kids. But grandma is very much like the grandma in Moana, in that she keeps pushing. That's the whole thing, is that she wants her to stay 2 weeks, because if she stayed 2 weeks, she's going to discover her love of the ocean and remember her mom, and the ocean's going to call her, blah, 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 Disney borrowing from Disney.
It's a dirty trick.
Yeah.
It's a dirty trick. Her dad is like, well, maybe we should sell the place. Does find out that there is some interest in people buying it. The attorney's not super pumped about that idea, but it's not really his job to say whether or not that they're allowed to explore that. They can explore it if they want to, but he
right.
does
Yeah,
put
I
it out
mean,
there.
he tells them about the deal. He's
Yeah, it's
just
like-
kind of like, yeah,
you
there's
can
been
tell
some
it's not
interest.
his
This is an option, but
Yeah.
this land is
He's
your
not
land.
thrilled.
Sydney, almost as if she's drawn to it, finds an old photo album. I'm not saying there was any sort of force.
Ghost mom of any
Not saying
kind.
Ghost Mom opened that
No.
door at
Yes,
all.
but she does find an old photo album. Inside of it is a photo of her mom.
Which is when we find out that maybe dad has not been so honest, because she's like, oh, is that mom?
Yeah,
And you'd think that maybe you would have
yeah.
seen a photo.
It
of
is
mom?
very much like white dad has kept Hawaiian mom from
Captive.
mixed child.
yes, that too.
It doesn't. This movie doesn't age well in that regard, but I think that would have been just as bad in 2000 as it is now. Like this dad not really talking about this girl's mom to
Yeah.
her at all over the course of her young childhood into tween to teen. Like
Yeah.
that's not great.
And I didn't hear an exact. Dad is remarried. We have stepmom Elizabeth.
Stepmom's
Stepmom.
great.
That's right.
It sounds like dad got remarried pretty quick.
Oh, so you think there's maybe some potential foul play here?
No.
So what you're saying is he cheated on dead mom.
No, all
with
I'm saying is
redhead
he pretty
stepmom.
much brushed any memories or stories
much
or
like we annexed
anything
Hawaii
about-
and took it.
Yes, that's
so did white
the
dad.
point I'm trying
That's
to make.
right. Yes,
I'm just saying
he's a colonizer.
Listen,
Point has gotten away from me.
if, and this is a big if I, had an affair.
Where's this going?
If I had an affair and then killed my wife, I'd probably keep all of that information and any pictures of her away from my kid too.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't ask any questions. I killed her.
That's right.
So like,
yeah. I don't want to bring it up.
That I can see how he got there if that's what happened.
Yeah,
you
which I never
that
thought of it.
Tricky situation.
Your
of course. Dead wife's mom leaves your kids an island, basically. What are you going to do there?
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. You're in a tough spot.
Yeah.
You assume.
So before you kill your wife, you should find out if she has any.
That's right. Yeah.
Any land holdings somewhere.
That's really good. That's
few
really
more
good advice.
Strings there. You always probably want to check all that.
That's really good
before you murder your spouse.
Hey, Caitlin, if you're listening and you go missing, I will know who did it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. You don't know about her land. She's got.
It's my land.
It is your land.
That land is
my land.
Yeah.
I just think people come to this podcast for the talk about the movies, but you
do they?
You stay, I believe, for the murder advice. And
I think
how
so.
to get away from it.
Well, we've gone through tax advice.
I will say this: based upon acting alone, there's numerous people in this movie that need to be murdered.
Too far, Dan.
Okay, all right. Sorry. I didn't name any names. It could be any of the cast.
You want to kill the cat?
No, the cat is a star.
Okay.
I think we know that.
All right, let's go down the list. Dad.
We could start with anyone who doesn't have a photo on IMDb.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Not to kill, but if Dan was looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
To be killed?
I don't know.
I need to kill some people, but I don't want to do it against their own volition. Like if they were to volunteer.
Yeah. I'm a volunteer-only murderer. I think that's pretty clear. So sees a picture of mom and is like, wow, that's my mom. This is so crazy. I've never seen her before. This is nuts. The next day, this, as we've mentioned, random cat leads Sydney, again, almost as if the cat is potentially possessed by a ghost mom, to an old barn out in the field.
We're not saying ghost mom. We're just saying
it could be
probably
for
ghost
any
mom.
reason.
Probably ghost mom.
That would be the most logical explanation.
Yeah.
But again, it could be anything.
Yeah, of course.
It could be that this cat just really likes the barn. And the cat brings her to this barn, and inside the barn she finds a surfboard
With her mother's name on it.
in fantastic condition. So she snags that surfboard and is walking with it, and she bumps into a girl on her bike.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Her name's Gia. Gia likes to surf and says, hey, you should come and surf with me and my fellow Rip Girls later. And
hello, fellow Rip Girl. Will I see you at the waves later?
Yeah.
Where we rip?
Where we
We're
rip?
gonna rip so good. And so Sydney's like, I love that idea. And obviously Gia is like, this is a fellow Rip Girl.
It's a fellow Rip Girl.
Because she has
carrying
she's
the
got the surfboard.
Got it in her blood. You can
That's
tell.
Well, she's carrying the surfboard,
Yeah.
and you're in
course.
Hawaii,
Come
so
on.
So Sydney's like, hey, Daddy-o, I would like to make my way down to the water tomorrow.
Actually, there's a more fun part that happens before that. Dad says,
We don't want to miss anything.
Hey, tomorrow, I was thinking,
What if we went and found some
we
rocks?
could go collect some rocks to bring home. And Sydney's not thrilled, and stepmom Elizabeth is like, better yet, there is an exhibit downtown of handmade quilts we could check
Your
out.
dad thought he had the worst idea ever, and I was here to tell him he didn't. Quilts.
Honestly, I like the quilt idea a little bit better because it sounded like it was in a building with maybe air conditioning.
Air conditioning,
And
yeah.
not me hiking in a field picking up rocks.
Yeah. Rocks maybe still is the
But
worst.
yeah, so those
I
are the
would be
two on the
willing to-
table. And then Sydney goes, hey, hear me out.
The good news is though, Dad would be in proximity to kick rocks, which he most definitely should. Sydney's like, I actually got an even better idea that doesn't involve either one of those really weird things you guys brought up.
You guys deserve each other. I don't care if you killed
First time
mom.
in Hawaii,
Yeah.
this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the
Between
rocks.
the rocks and the quilts, I'm going to go with ocean.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I would like to go to the ocean.
Especially
The ocean.
coming from Chicago, which is in the middle. I mean, it's on the Great Lakes, so that's great, but it's not the ocean.
No.
Sydney is like, the ocean, it calls me.
Yeah.
It calls me. And I want to go hang out with my new Rip Girl, Gia. Gia and her other fellow Rip girls. They're going to be down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dad is like, no way. And she's like, please. And it's like, only you can go, but no water, and you can only take pictures.
No,
Yeah.
oh, you can't get in the water.
Can't get in the water.
You can't drink
You can't
water.
drink
Wait
any
a minute.
water. No,
you can't get in the water.
Dehydrate yourself.
Have,
No.
to, have to stay on.
That's right.
That's right.
On dry land.
So Sydney meets the Rip girls.
The Reaper?
No, her
Sydney
mom did
dies
that.
and joins Ghost Mom.
Yeah. Sydney meets the
Words
the
are
Rip
hard,
girls,
They're tough.
the Rip girls, and
Binoculars.
let me introduce you to a Rip boy. His name's Kona.
If
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
a Rip girl. Yeah,
Kona, Kona and his boys, they also love.
This movie's filmed in Hawaii, and they're like, how do we, or not, filmed in Australia. How do we emphasize the fact that we're in Hawaii? Let's name the leading guy Kona.
Kona.
Like the beer, the place, it's the most Hawaiian name possible.
Yeah.
Kona. It's Kona for you.
Kona.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
kid is clearly
So
from
Hawaiian.
And it's a great magic trick because Kona's boys are surfing with Gia and the
Yeah.
Rip girls, but when Sydney joins them, they come down the mountain for the first
it's
time.
it's a bank scoring a goal in Mighty
It's-
Ducks 1 situation.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Aaron,
I've never noticed it before, but when we were watching it, I was like, didn't we just see them in the water?
Yeah, we
It's
did.
impressive.
Aaron, what was 10-year-old Aaron's thoughts on Kona?
10-year-old Erin's thoughts on Kona were, man, I can't wait to inherit a Hawaiian island and meet my Hawaiian boyfriend.
So it was less about Kona, more about the island.
No.
I mean,
The island is a way
Island.
to Kona.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 10-year-old me did love the idea of inheriting a Hawaiian island
Of
and I could
course.
live on the
Yeah.
beach. I'm still mad at Johnny Tsunami's parents for moving him
Tsunami.
from the beach to Vermont.
Yes.
Right.
And then I was like, bonus, it comes with boyfriend.
Yeah, it comes with
Comes
Kona.
with a Kona.
Yeah, so you're just set for life there.
There you go.
Inherit
Good to go.
island. And
So-
then you're done.
Kona is like, hey, I know
So
that
he
you.
surfs and skateboards.
Yeah. Well, he has a
Come
cast, so he
Could
can't
he
surf
be more,
right now.
Could he be more 2000s?
Yeah, he's awesome.
So cool.
Kona very quickly picks up on the fact that Sydney's not a surfer. Like, just, he can pick it up.
He can see it.
And she very quickly picks up on the fact that he is a poet and an artist, and it is wonderful. Did the poetry work for 10-year-old Erin?
I don't know.
Now you're asking for her to remember something 20 plus years ago.
Oh, if the poetry was good.
I mean, it was just the way he was describing the surf.
Yeah.
He's
She
a
said-
poet.
and
Sure.
she says
I
you're
mean,
a
he
poet.
sounded passionate. I don't think 10-year-old me was like, poet.
So,
When you were 10, did you think you were going to be grilled about this?
For sure, no.
Gia.
How would 10-year-old do you feel about it?
10-year-old me is fine with this. 10-year-old me is really excited for us to watch Stepsister from Planet Weird because 10-year-old Erin has a lot of thoughts on
What
that.
was 10-year-old Erin's go-to snack?
I mean, a Pop-Tart,
Dope.
for sure. It's always been my go-to.
I love that.
My senior yearbook, we had to submit a photo of baby us, and there's a photo of me as a toddler just walking around with Pop-Tarts in each hand, and that was my...
Come on. Double fist and Pop-Tarts. Life's good.
That's crazy.
yeah. Or maybe like some sort of fruit roll-up.
Yes. So Gia decides I would like to teach.
Oh, Dunkaroos also. Just
Shout out.
Yeah. I don't think they exist anymore.
They took them away again?
Are they again?
Did they
Maybe
come back?
They left and came back.
They could just sell them at the store.
Okay. then they're back. Then they're back.
They came back a couple years ago, and I thought they were here.
Okay. Then maybe that was it. So Gia's going to teach her to surf.
Yes. So
We
despite
get that montage,
so
which is
despite
awesome.
Papa's best wishes, Sydney gets into the water.
Pawpaw.
Yeah.
We an Andy Griffith?
And it's like, okay, I'll learn. So now this becomes a thing. Sydney is going to keep going
Pop
back.
Another section on Daddy Bingo.
That's right. It's a separate sheet.
Sydney is going to continue to go back to the water, is going to continue to try to learn how to surf. She's getting a little bit better. She's learning how to stand. She's learning how to ride that wave.
Yeah.
Just learn how to be a rip girl.
She's learning
Takes time.
to rip girl.
She doesn't do it perfectly the first time,
No.
and she gets upset. And Gia's like, "You did great for your first
Yeah.
time." And Sydney's like, "I need to master this sport in 2 weeks
That's
because
right.
then we're leaving."
I'm
But
leaving.
Gia does drop some mad wisdom that could have been used in Brink, which is like you don't surf for other people.
That's right.
You surf for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, Sydney's afraid to
That's
right.
try
That's
surfing
right.
in front of all
Yeah.
the other people, and they're like, "No."
No, you surf for you,
You're
man.
a soul surfer, not that soul surfer.
Not that soul surfer. Different soul surfer.
So one day, in the midst of learning to rip, Sydney is swept off her
She is
surfboard.
ripped off of her surfboard.
That's right. Is then
This,
taken
Trapped.
this title has
under
so
the
many
water.
meanings.
and she's now under the water.
She's more of
Does
a,
Gia save her? Gia was right next to her in the water.
No.
Oh, okay.
Kona runs down the mountain because
Yeah,
he was
he
up on
was-
top
he
of the
was-
mountain.
he was on
he's on
Yeah.
top of the mountain. He's looking
Skateboarding.
over his land, all of his male provision.
Yes.
Yeah, where the sun touches.
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, Gia clearly seems to be signifying that someone is in trouble that she could reach with one hand,
That's right.
but will not
That's right.
do
Yeah.
it. Is there a man around that could do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kona
And there
fits the
is.
bill. Yeah.
And
You might
by
remember.
the time it would, I mean, I would have lost consciousness by the time it took Kona to
I
get
think
to the water.
David Blaine would have lost consciousness. I'm pretty sure.
She is underwater.
For an hour.
4 minutes.
It is, time stands still a lot in this movie, but never more than when
I mean,
Sydney is comfortably underwater at like, it's crazy.
And in the movie, Kona gets down the mountain pretty quickly,
Yeah.
but in reality, that would take him. Oh, like Sydney would be dead.
Yes, so dead.
If
Yeah.
Gia, just reach over and pull
Just
her.
get just get your girl. Help your girl out just a little bit.
Women supporting women.
Yeah,
right.
that's the least we could do. She
So
wants Sydney dead because she secretly has a crush on Kona. Tell me I'm wrong.
But she needs Sydney alive because the island.
I think Sydney, Kona, and Gia all mutually crush.
There's a
on each
love
other.
triangle. Oh,
For
all,
sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a mutual crush.
Wow, all the way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way around.
Interesting.
And I'm not the only one that's picked up on this. This is
Letterboxd reviews?
Letterboxd
Yeah.
is heavy
Here we
on
go.
this.
We'll get there.
So she is rescued, but she does
By
have a
Kona,
big
who
old
just his arm is in a cast. Does he care?
cast.
Absolutely not.
F no, he doesn't
He
care.
dives right into that water to save
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And does he get the cast removed the next day because of mold and mildew
you
and
dry it off.
bacteria?
You dry it off. You put a hair dryer to that sucker. It's fine.
Is it the only time the cast will get wet in the ocean this movie? No.
Bran talking like he's rescued half a
So
dozen
many
girls
people.
with a cast on under the water.
Listen, man.
Bran is known for his water rescue.
I'm known for
Yes.
me and
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, we were
and cast and girls.
all
That's
our
what I'm known
boys
for.
were swimming at the pool, and my wife and I were inside, and you were out there. And my wife looked at me and goes, "If the boys are going to be in the pool, shouldn't an adult be out there?"
That felt unnecessary.
And I was like, "Bran can get in the water. Like Bran's doing better. He can get in the water if he needs to." And she's like, "Deep end." None of it was a joke. either.
Hey,
It was
Sarah, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
She wasn't trying to be mean to you. I'm just reporting back. She was a serious conversation.
She's
had
never
with me.
trying to be mean to me, and yet somehow she always is.
Also, she will never hear this.
No, God, no.
So, Caitlin, when you listen, tell Sarah.
Let Sarah know that I've had
Sarah's
it.
still working her way through all the Deck the Hallmark episodes.
she'll
She's
get-
got about 1,200
I was
left.
going to say, she's still in episode 1.
Yeah, no. She's probably listened to 100. That'd be my
Oh, that
guess.
sounds.
Wow.
I know, right?
Go, Sarah.
I know.
So, how did she become the hero in this? She was mean to me. What the heck?
I mean, she was asking an honest question.
It's not on. It's not honest. Before that conversation took place, she looked at me and she said, "I'm going to go in the house for a minute. Can you watch the kids?" And I said, "Yes."
I think the kids weren't in the pool yet. They were around the deck. And she heard them jump in. And she asked me. She probably would have appreciated me never telling that to you.
Yeah. Well, now I know.
It was an honest question by her. She didn't know where you were swimming wise. She didn't know.
Maybe I won't save the kids.
You would.
I would save the kids.
You're
I would save the kids. I would die, but I would save the kids.
Save the kids, save the world.
better
right.
than Gia.
I'm better than Gia. That's what I'm trying to say.
That T-shirt is available.
Yeah.
I actually, what I said,
podcast.com.
Gia.
what I said to my wife when she was like, "Shouldn't we have an adult out there?" I was like, "Don't worry, Jay is out there. We're good.
Yeah, that's fair.
If Bran gets too deep, Jay will pull him out."
Yeah, he's strong.
He is.
Yeah.
He's strong. So
I think both your kids together could probably like drag me out of the pool.
Yeah.
gashed head. And so she becomes unconscious.
Sydney hits her
Sydney,
head.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We just call her Old Gashed. Kona saves Old Gashed Head.
Yeah. She becomes unconscious. She wakes up. She's in some sort
GH for short.
like shelter. And
someone's home.
yeah,
She's not in a shelter, Bran. Like only by the definition of shelter being somewhere underneath something else.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
protection from
She's
the
not in
elements.
like a homeless shelter.
no,
or like a
well, no, I meant
animal
shelter.
shelter. Or like
I felt like this house was pretty like open sided. Like it seemed
that's,
like
that's
it,
how Hawaii is.
but it didn't seem like it didn't seem like it. I don't. Yeah, I guess it could have been a house. For some reason, I thought that it was like a shelter nearby. Like
No,
a
it's
place.
Gia's home.
Okay, great. I love that.
Yeah.
So
You should Google Hawaiian real estate.
well, I've
It's
seen.
very open to.
I have seen one house, and no. Actually, I've seen two houses. Johnny Tsunami, and this movie.
this is Australia.
Has two, that's true. That's
This doesn't count.
Say no more.
None of this was filmed in Hawaii.
Do you think Sydney's named Sydney as like a nod to
Sydney,
Australia?
Ooh, yeah, probably.
So,
Her name was Honolulu.
You mean
the first
Gash
time.
yeah, I'm talking about Gashted. Her mom, Gia's mom, because Sydney's mom's dead. Gia's mom gives her magic juice, and she's like, "Toad's fine."
Gives
Gives her magic
And-
juice.
like tea.
It's like 4 ounces of could
Tea.
be anything,
I think it's tea.
but it
She's-
could be anything.
Sure.
We don't know. We don't know.
That's right.
Saying it's tea like you were there.
Maybe I was.
We find out that Gia's mom knew very well Sydney's mom. They were very good friends.
Best friends.
Best friends, you might
like
say.
sisters.
Such good friends that when you
Like
hear
the original Rip Girls.
when you hear your dead best friend's daughter is coming to town, you go into the woods and you spy on them with
Spy on with the
binoculars.
Binoculars, yes.
Binoculars.
Because that's what she did. It was her in the woods with the binoculars. Clue.
The
I won
conservatory
it.
with it. Yes,
And
Rip
so
Girl's best friend in the woods with the binoculars.
brings her back to her house.
Ooh,
Dad
are
is
we
like,
making a decom Monopoly board.
not a bad idea.
You mean clue board? Do you want
Yes.
to do? Yeah, clue board. Yeah, I like it.
I like both of those ideas. So brings her back to
In
her
all our
house.
spare time.
Sydney's dad is mad, obviously.
Oh, of course he is.
And
She's
then
been gone all day.
But gone all day. You know, they turned the lights off. They'd given up hope.
Yeah.
They turned all the lights
Every
off
scene
inside.
in this house has no lights.
Yeah, there's no overhead lights. That's the other thing about Hawaii real estate.
That's the thing. And
Electricity fine, eye level and below.
yeah.
No overhead lights.
It's like they
overhead
put
lights.
all of their investment into natural light and forgot about when it gets dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
And they happen to film all the scenes in the house at night.
Yeah.
It's a
And they were
really
like,
interesting
"Oopsie."
Tough
choice.
break there. Yeah.
So she said, her dad's like, go to your room. Obviously, she's being dragged to her room by the stepmom. She wants to listen in on this. So Gia's mom is talking to her dad and is like, how have you not told her? Blah, 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 doing all this stuff. And obviously, Sydney's overhearing all of this.
Yes.
It's serious stuff.
Serious
Well, the dad
business.
is blaming her for the accident, and the mom's like, I wasn't even there. And he's like, yeah, of course you were there, like cheering her on. And, you know, clearly they have years of
Yeah.
some tension and some issues to work through.
Obviously,
And it's the first time Sydney's heard any sort of
Right.
truth about her mom.
obviously, she's never going to see her again, except she does see her again, takes her to a place where whales are. It's like, hey, look at the beauty of Hawaii. Whales are pretty cool, aren't they?
the
We're not
whales
gonna.
stop
We're definitely
by-
not gonna see a whale.
When they're like migrating and stuff like that, they stop by.
Yeah.
And so
And the whale
And
is
thankfully, it's not
picturesque.
migration season. We're not going to see any whales in this movie.
No.
We're not going to see a
There's
whale.
no whales.
Yes.
Thank God.
We're not going to see a whale. Then her friends bring her to a
I bet
late
we'll
night.
see more whales than ghosts.
Mm.
Dang, that's crazy.
I think you can see Ghost Mom in this movie if you look hard enough.
And she learns from Gia's Gia's mom. I don't know. She finds out like that her mom died in the water.
Yeah,
and-
Gia's mom tells her the story.
yeah, doesn't come from the
tells
dad.
Her, tells her later.
Yeah.
But
Dad's still
Has
not
opened up.
doing his thing at all.
Yeah.
Yes. During this time, there is a real estate agent.
Yes, I was just about to get there.
Okay.
Yes.
Who are big on selling the property.
Yes, and they have a new offer that is like a really good offer.
Yeah, they had a
and-
first offer. Sydney and her family brought up a lot of concerns about like preserving the lagoon and the natural resources of the island, all this like, you know, recycling, water preservation.
All the
that.
good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is great. We got a resort that'll, people can come and visit, but it will still showcase all the natural beauty.
They're going to do their part to help the island.
That's great.
Every demand that Sydney and her family had, the resort said, sure.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Big business never lies.
That night, Sydney is brought to a luau, and Sydney watches the dancing, watches a story being told, kisses Kona.
Kona so sweetly interprets the Hawaiian story into her ear.
That's in her ear.
And then she turns and they have a whole, I forgot I was so close to you.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
a very awkward kiss.
Yeah.
And then we see.
Which in my head, I thought they had like gone off somewhere to look at the water and kissed. I did not realize it was just right in the middle of the luau.
I will say this. It is a classic awkward 13-year-old kiss. Like that is like perfectly awkward there. Yes. That is exactly what that would be like.
But yeah.
Then we see whales.
It looks like a ton of fun.
We see CGI whales.
CGI
How
whales.
dare you? Those were
Sorry, we see real.
You're claiming those whales weren't real?
I'm sorry. No, you're right.
Who do you think you are?
No, you're right. No, the whales, we caught them at the right time. They said, the camera for us?
You don't even like nature.
Show
you think
us.
that was made by a computer.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, so what that you could see through the whale? It's not. There was a translucent whale, Bran. You never heard of them?
Well, it depends on the season.
At night.
At night, yeah.
So as they're watching the whales, this is when Sydney turns to Gia's mom and says, "You were there, weren't you?" And Gia's mom fills her in on all the details of her mother's accident.
All the deets. That's right. Still not from Dad. Thanks, Dad, for nothing.
Dad
thanks,
has had
Whitey.
13 years of time. And I would say, even if you're going to keep it a secret, once you get back to Hawaii, you
pretty much
should
got
have
to
a
unload that
conversation
information
with your child.
So, the next day, an article is published that a resort is being brought in and all that stuff. And so everyone's mad. They know that Sydney and her family are going to sell to this resort and it's going to ruin.
And
they're really worried about the whales.
It's great journalism because it doesn't say proposed resort. It says resort coming to Mackay.
Yeah.
And I do hate that the resort is coming to Mackay, but I do love the fact that it gave us the acting showcase that we got from it. All the people being mad at Sydney.
No one will talk to her.
It is just, it's iconic. It is everyone saying the meanest things in a normal monotone voice.
She smells like rotten fish.
That's right. I'm out of here.
Yes.
How could you do this?
So they're like, the whales aren't going to come around anymore. She's like, no, they promised that we would preserve the whale zone. And
the whale zone.
They're like, well, with all the tourists around, the whales aren't going to come around anymore.
Did she have that
freaking hate
conversation
tourists,
with
man.
Gia?
I think it was with Gia, yeah.
Yeah, because the friends, none of them talk to her. They all just
She
get
goes
up
to
and
talk
walk
to
away.
Gia on the beach.
Yeah, she goes and finds Kona. Kona tells her where Gia is.
Whales hate tourists.
Whales hate tourists.
Yeah.
Hate them.
And rightfully so,
Rightfully
I think.
so.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the more traffic you have in the water of boats and swimmers and stuff,
Yes.
the whales would slowly adapt their path.
But what if they're transparent?
What if they're translucent?
Yeah.
What if they're open about what they're talking about all the time, transparently, and they're translucent?
Yeah.
What if they are clear, direct whales?
Trans whales?
Trans whales. Trans whales matter. And
They do, and that's why we can't build a resort on Mackay. Because trans whales
But you know what?
have
I've seen
rights.
several videos of these whales murdering tourists, and I'm like, maybe we shouldn't, because tourists are important.
The whales who attack the boats?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's warranted.
No, I'm 100% on the side.
I'm on
of
the
the
whale
whales.
side
Yeah,
there.
of course. It's 100% on the side of the whales.
You have to respect
F y'all.
nature. Nature was
Yeah.
here first.
Come on. Go ahead, Brad.
You guys got it out of your system.
No.
No. F whales. I've been very clear about my stance on whales. I mean, on tourists for years.
I was like, you're going back and forth
Yeah.
here. We were on the whale side
Yeah.
a second ago.
Both ends.
Man.
Okay.
Wait,
Is that
what?
whale guy?
Yeah.
What are you?
Whale guy, how do you feel about whale rights?
But I have a question.
Oh,
You've
really?
never once.
What?
This is the 15th, 16th episode of the show. You're someone that loves whales,
Right.
and you're hanging around on the phone line that we clearly have.
Right.
But you do that for a different show. What are you doing here right now?
There are whales, Daniel.
They're a whale. I heard about. I've seen
So
the
it
movie.
doesn't matter
I
what
love Rip
show we're
Curls.
on. If we talk about whales,
I'm here.
Okay.
It's in his contract.
I know.
He gets to voice his opinion on whales.
Are you
I know your
in
history.
the same boat with us? Are you F the tourists? The whales are right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good.
And it's good to see you've come around.
On that issue alone, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Favorite translucent whale?
Shorny, probably.
Shorny?
Yeah. Shorny whale.
Shorny whale.
Shorny.
I mean, my favorite is Willie.
Okay.
I said translucent Willie. Free Willie is a translucent whale.
It's the only Willie I know.
Wow.
It's the only
Because
whale.
Shornay is real.
Shorny.
You're like, well, Shornay's clearly a real whale. I don't want to look
thinking
stupid.
seriously.
I got to say a real whale too.
Shamu's a whale.
Shamu's a whale.
yeah.
It's an orca, right? Or is it a whale?
It's a killer whale.
Listen,
So
man.
not a whale.
Or orca's a dolphin.
Yeah, I
Technically.
know. That's why
Be
I said
careful,
killer
Dan.
whale.
Be careful.
I'm just being honest with you.
Be careful.
Orcas are dolphins. Orcas are dolphins. They're
Oh.
dolphins.
I had
No.
SeaWorld Barbie, and she
Oh,
came with a
no.
little Shamu.
There you go.
Whale guy? Orcas aren't yours. You can't claim them.
Do we have a dolphin guy on the phone?
Is he Woody Woodpecker?
Nope.
I didn't see a guy.
I'm an almond. Nah.
Dolphins are like, I don't know, 10 octaves higher than that?
Watch me. Here's one more.
I miss Wheel Guy.
Yeah. What do we have to do to make it stop? Yeah, that'll do it.
So, they're all real peeved.
Real mad.
The whales?
And then she goes and she's going to sign this thing because she
Yeah.
said she's going to
Well,
sign it.
She's going to sign the
Well,
paperwork.
before that, she's explaining to Gia that she hasn't signed anything, and
Also, she negotiated all this great stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they're going to
she's like,
leave
"It's
the
gonna be
lagoon
great."
alone. No,
and then
like
she
littering.
and Gia get in a fight where Gia calls her basically a loser, and she's like,
A basic B.
a basic
yeah,
B.
yeah.
And Sydney's like, wait, you being my friend, was that just like a plan with you and your mom?
To keep the land,
You
not
know,
as a resort.
And Gia was like, what, first? And she's like, and Kona? Did he kiss me because of this plan? And Gia says yes, and blah, blah, blah. And they get in this fight how no one likes Sydney, and Sydney's like, fine, I don't like any of you. Anyway, I'm going to go sign that paperwork.
That's right.
And Gia's like, fine, get out of here.
This acting is better.
I got to be honest. Gia
That wasn't even my best
Gia
13-year-old
didn't-
girl
wow.
impression.
didn't need to show the hands.
A
at that point.
reenactment of Rip Girls where Erin plays both the parts of Gia and Sydney would watch.
Yeah.
Like that would be fantastic.
I would do it.
Gia didn't need to be that
stand this way.
honest in that
Stand this way.
moment.
Ask my family. It is when we need to recap a TV show growing up, I would reenact all the parts.
Fantastic. Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So she goes to sign this thing.
Gia didn't need to be that honest.
She didn't need to go that hard.
She done
But,
goofed.
I mean, she lied too. The whole plan was for Gia to befriend her and just
Right.
like be nice to her. But then Gia actually but Gia's friends weren't a part of it. Kona wasn't a part of it. Like,
Kona.
but she brought all that in there to hurt Sydney because
Of course.
hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people,
Amen.
hurt people, amen. Yeah. That's whale guy's problem.
What?
Anyway, she goes to sign
This
this
is
thing.
on you, Daniel.
It is, but she goes to sign
I'm
the
in therapy.
paperwork and they
Before
cheers.
she signs, they all toast with
They
some sparkling
cheers.
juice.
They're like, cheers.
We did it.
To selling this
Have
thing.
you signed yet?
Now
no, you
that,
haven't. You
Now
haven't
that
signed,
we've
but
cheers,
I'm working on myself.
cheers, let's dot the I's and
You
cross the T's.
13-year-old girl, here's a pen.
What?
I'm putting in the work.
Hurt people is all I'm saying, Will God.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to know the legality
So-
of the 13-year-old signing that paperwork.
I guess with a guardian there, she would have
Would
to sign
she
it.
sign and then the guardian
Yeah.
signs? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how that works.
So she decides obviously not to sell.
We don't know that though.
Well, we just see her pin close to paper,
Yes.
face, and then it just cuts to her
She
on
looks
the beach.
out the window. All her friends are getting in the van to go surfing.
That's right, by the Shave Ice sign. And then she's like, and the next thing you know, she's on the beach and she's about to tell him that she didn't sign it.
Well, she runs to the house.
Around
You
7
can't miss the scene with the mom.
Well, yes.
She runs to Gia's
Oh,
home.
of course.
To tell
This
Gia,
dumb scene.
She tells.
Oh
she
my
goes to tell
gosh.
Gia, "Hey, I didn't sign," and Gia's not there, but her mom is, and she's like, "Hey, guess what? I wanted to tell you first," and the mom cuts her right off. Does not want to hear what she has to say. She goes, "You did what you had to do. I don't need to know the details." And Bran,
But I do have
I do have something for you.
a bracelet that on my wrist looks
I've been wearing for 10
small
years.
and dainty, but is actually big enough to fit around a giant tree trunk. It is massive.
And what is it, Dan?
It is
Just a bracelet?
A locket on the
Oh.
bracelet.
And
With
inside is a photo of the two moms as friends.
No, that would make all the sense in the world.
What's inside?
Now, the whole movie, Sydney is trying to find a picture of her and her mom together and can't really find one. So much so that she finds a picture of mom she loves and does some 2000s level photoshopping to take a picture of her and a picture of mom to try to create a photo of them together. This girl is desperate to have a memory, a lifelong memory of her and her mom together.
Something of her mom.
And this no good bee. Gia's mom over here has the whole movie had a locket, and on that locket was a picture.
2 pictures
of Sydney with her mom.
Yep.
What?
But also, like, why are you?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of levels of weird there.
Like, how did you get that bracelet in the first place?
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. The fact that she didn't leave with that. That she didn't finally meet him at the airport and go, look what I have for you. Like, what in the world? You're a villain.
I don't know where she got that. Did she have that before the mom died? Did she go scavenge that from the house after they left?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. So many questions.
I could believe she maybe went and saved it from the house after the family left, being like, I don't know if they're coming back.
Never showed up.
But it's
weird
that she started wearing it.
Yeah.
And then Sydney's there for a week or so.
And doesn't get it from her.
And clearly doesn't know the story of her mom. Doesn't remember her mom.
Was like, if she decided to keep the land, was she ever going to give her the bracelet? Like, she thinks Sydney's leaving. She's like, well, you're leaving. You might as well take this with you.
Might as well take this now.
Like, if Sydney was like, if Sydney had gotten out the sentence, I didn't sign, we're staying, was the mom just going to be like, cool, do you like my bracelet? It's mine.
It's just too much. The fact that that's been on her wrist all movie is just too much. It's too much.
As a 10-year-old, I was like, so sweet.
So sweet.
And as an adult, I'm like, why?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And if I had the brain capacity 14 years ago to think about it, I would have been upset. Like, Sydney's not upset at all, but I'd be like, that is a photo of me and my mom. Like,
yeah, that's mine.
Like, you've known me a week. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you have it?
I would have loved to
so
have that,
you might be asking, what's the big drama of the movie?
She shows back up at the, Sydney does, up at the beach. Sydney is nowhere to be found, but her board is on the beach. And so, obviously, worst case scenario, Gia's pulled a Sydney and is now stuck in the water.
Yeah. She goes to Kona and she's like, I need to find Gia right away. And
Kona's been making a board for her, has painted it, the whole thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, he's been repairing her mom's board.
Yeah.
But he's painted a picture of Sydney on it and he's fixed it all up. And she's like, hey, where's Gia? And he's like, I don't know. She just said she needed to go.
The waves were calling.
She says a certain phrase, and that's her secret spot where she doesn't surf because it's too dangerous, but she goes to sit and think. And Sydney's like, oh no, if she is there, it is trouble. Because they go there and she's not on the beach, and they're like, she has gone surfing.
Sees the surfboard, is like, oh man.
You should never surf alone.
Got to get out there. Yes, so Sydney, with her week of training, takes the board, heads out to the choppy water surrounded by rocks.
Choppy water.
Sees Gia out there just before going under and not coming back up. But thank God, Sydney makes it to her, goes down, rescues her, throws her back onto the surfboard, and is like,
and they go straight to land.
They don't. They do have a heart-to-heart here.
Right on the she's battered, bruised, bleeding.
She's bleeding. Her suit's all ripped.
Now's the time to tell you.
What were you doing?
I didn't sign.
I thought,
They end up obviously being friends again. Sydney and her family are going to stay. Dad has embraced the Hawaiian life. You can tell by his Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
And Sydney is now a tried and true Rip girl.
Yes.
Those Rip girls.
And the dad has a one sentence. I guess it could be a redemption if you're gonna go for the.
Let's not give him that.
But he has a one sentence where he does tell Sydney that the money doesn't matter. They could stay, and that he does think it's important for her to connect to her history. It's one sentence. I think he needs a lot more to make it up to Sydney, but it's something. It's a start.
It is something. It is something. That is Rip Girls. Take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk more about it here on Decom Descendants.
Nice job, Erin.
You're welcome.
What up? What up, everybody? We're talking Rip Girls.
In my defense, I was trying to make note of the timestamp so that
you did a
later on
great
when I'm
job.
putting in ads,
Oh,
No, great job.
okay.
I won't have to
All
listen
right.
to a
We
bunch.
get it.
You don't want to listen to the show? It's a gift
get
from
it.
God. It's time for the overtime.
You work hard. We understand.
It's time for the overtime part of the show,
Just my brain couldn't do two things at once.
where we talk about, what our thoughts are on the movie. I'll give you some thoughts from the internet quickly, if you don't
More
mind.
specifically, Letterboxd.
Letterboxd.
I will first give you a little.
good
Mike
start.
Hughes of the Gannett News Service considered Rip Girls a first-rate film using unknown actors, which is interesting. The Entertainment Weekly did rank this movie 29 out of 30 on the top 30 movies, Disney DCOM movies of all time, saying that's a lesser combination of earlier films such as Brink and Johnny Tsunami.
All right.
Letterboxd says
go.
this. Sarah McCoy says this. What I sleep on, a Serta mattress. What y'all sleep on, Rip Girls. One of the best Disney Channel original
Oh my
movies of all
gosh.
time. Luca says this is a social commentary on how people that surf in jean shorts should drown. Chris says for a movie in Hawaii, they showed very little of the beauty of Hawaii and too
Because it was
much
Australia.
and too much of a realtor's office.
That's right, because it was not shot in Hawaii. That is probably the big reason.
Mac said the effort they put into that whale CGI is the same amount of effort I put into watching this movie.
Attaboy, Mac.
Colin Driscoll says this movie should be called Surfboard, and board is spelled I'm bored.
I got you.
Yeah.
Nicely
Great
done.
job, Colin.
Yeah.
Lena says this actually should be called Rip Girl, R.I.P. girl, singular, instead of Rip Girls, plural, because spoiler alert, only one female character is dead in this movie.
Wow. Man.
Amanda says finding out that they filmed this in Australia has me effed up. And last but not least, Gabe says add to dead parent watch list, add to anti-capitalism for teens watch list, and add to lesbian surfer icons watch list. It's time to talk about
That's funny.
Rip Girls. Erin, you're the only one out of three of us that has seen this movie. 10-year-old you, obviously big Kona
Freaking
fan.
loved it.
Freaking loved it.
Tell us about your thoughts, obviously, 10-year-old Erin had, and how you felt like this movie aged over time.
Well, what I thought about it and how it aged over time are two very different opinions. I still enjoyed watching this movie today, or last week, or whatever date we watched it. The year 2024.
Yes.
I really enjoyed. I still love the concept of inheriting land in Hawaii.
Duh.
10-year-old me thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I somehow also thought that would make her like a Hawaiian princess. I don't know. Just thought it was possible.
I still am not sure she gets a whole island out of this.
No,
deal
it
either.
is just the land.
A plot of land. Yeah.
But in my 10-year-old brain, they kept saying like she inherited Mackay, and in my head I was like, oh,
Mackay is Hawaiian for island.
so whole island. I just thought it was like the island of Mackay,
Yeah.
Maui, or okay. We're learning new things in 2024. There's a lot of parent-child relationship issues that were not great 24 years ago and are really not great now. But yeah, I still had a good time.
Of course, you are who you are.
I am who I am. I'm not going to apologize for it.
That's right.
And Dan's opinion is wrong.
What?
Well, let's try mine on for size. This movie whomps. Hella boring.
You were just disappearing under the seat in your chair.
I mean, just a real snoozer. The using unknown actors.
Yeah, that's a tough bit.
It showed. Filming this in Australia. How dare you? Just like on top of how boring this movie was, there's also just so many sins of casting and location that it is a real uphill battle that there's just not nearly enough movie to help it climb up. And so unfortunately it is it's not looking good for Rip Girls on Bran's list. Dan?
Womps.
Womps.
Just answer me this. Yeah. Would you rather have Kirk Cameron shaking his
absolutely
tail
not.
like a dog?
We'll find out on making the list, won't we, Dan?
Wow. Yeah. by the, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour long comm chat segment that we had, you would think that a lot happens in this movie. I would wager to say that our comm chat was longer than the actual plot portion of the movie that you watch.
Well, we got into some whale rights, and that
we
took
did,
us
of
on a
course.
tangent.
Yeah. There's a lot there, and Whale Guy was a big part of it. Dolphins, the whole thing. And we don't need to talk about it anymore. We don't need to. You're the one that. Don't look at me. You're the one. I wasn't going to say anything.
I said whale rights. You said
Whale right. Okay.
You called.
Yeah, but you opened the door. You opened the door. All I'm saying is that this movie.
He is busy right now, so we're good.
This movie. If you take out the surfing scenes, 3, 4, 5, God,
keep going. Keep going.
Almighty,
keep going.
Love you, baby boy.
Keep going.
Love you too, buddy. If you take out the surfing scenes,
Whale lives matter.
Whale lives.
That's true.
Okay. Yes, sure. Bran and I, for long stretches, were like, "Is this scene still going on?" Like, it's just shots of people surfing for no reason. There's not a competition. It's just for them surfing. They take a horse ride in this movie. And they're like, it's a long ride out to the barn. Boy, is it. We just see horses walking, not like galloping or trotting. Horses walking for minutes. It is a tough watch. I mean, forget the fact that the acting is unfortunately bad. Forget the fact that the dad is just a despicable human being who didn't tell his daughter anything about her dead mom. Forget the fact that this friend's mom had this picture the whole time. All that stuff would be like really bad in a better movie, but the movie itself is bad. Like, it just hangs on nothing. If you took out all of these very long, excruciating horse walking and surfing scenes, not horse surfing, that would be awesome if horses were surfing.
You say horse?
Yeah. Those scenes, if those scenes were gone, the movie would be like 48 minutes long. So it's not good. It does in fact womp. I hate to report. It does. It's a bad movie. I can imagine if you were a 10-year-old girl and watched it and you loved it, I'm not mad at you. I think that's totally fine. I think that may be the peak audience for this movie is 10-year-old girls who would
10
like
to 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, I think that is
in the early 2000s. That is
yes. But for all the rest of us, doesn't translate.
It's not made for men over the age of 30.
No, what? What about at the age of 40? That's where I am. Still sucks.
I was trying to include Bran.
Yeah, bad. It's not good. We want to make the list, Bran?
Let's make that list. So we're talking about our list and where this movie ends up on it. We're going to do the top 10 list. Unless this movie somehow didn't make our top 10, we will let you know where it ultimately is currently on our list. Erin, I'll let you go first.
All right. Coming in at number 10, Horse Sense.
Okay. So we've come to our horse senses a little bit, which is good. It's starting to plummet, which is nice.
Yeah, we're not going to hear about it anymore.
Good.
Well,
Makes
I don't
me
know.
feel so
I
much better.
actually have not seen next week's movie, so I don't know where that's going to rank.
But it just made you at one point had it at like
Have
3
you really
or
not?
4.
No.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's going to be
We're
new
going to
for all
have
of
fun.
us.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
New for me and
Frankie
Dan.
Muniz.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, come on.
Number 9, Alley Cat Strike. Number 8, Rip Girls. 7, Brink. 6, Up and Away. 5, Xenon. 4, Halloween Town. 3, Smart House. 2, Johnny Tsunami. 1, Color of Friendship. And I will say, I did think long and hard. Johnny Tsunami almost moved back to the number 1 spot. So give it a couple weeks. The love of Color of Friendship, the excitement of getting to watch it again is waning.
It's still number 1.
It will move back down. It was real close to it becoming number 2.
I'm just thrilled that you can do this. Be like, I just was excited about watching it again, so I'm gonna shout it out at number 1.
Just
and
gonna
then
shout it out, but
we'll-
I think by next week.
it's like you're scared to break up with a boyfriend, and
Yes.
you're just slowly like
So much of my
pulling back.
childhood was spent obsessed with Color of Friendship and rewatching my
slowly
VHS tape.
just pulling back emotionally
And-
until they don't notice.
Yeah,
and then
33-year-old me is having a hard time breaking up with that
you're
movie.
trying to get Color of Friendship to break up with you.
It's not going well.
Okay.
Someday soon.
I will start with Rip Girls that did not make my top 10.
Boo.
Of the 16 movies we've watched, I have it at 14.
So do I.
Sandwiched in between You Lucky Dog on the lower end and Horse Sense just above it.
I have Horse Sense at just above it as well. at
Okay,
13.
great. Yeah. I have also moved some things around in my top 10.
I have 2.
Okay, great. Up and Away at 10. Color of Friendship at 9, which is fascinating that I now have Color of Friendship above you.
Color of Friendship still 1 on her list.
Oh, for what
Horse
was
Sense?
Horse Sense? Okay.
At one point, Horse
That
Sense
makes
was
me feel
4
better.
on her list.
Yeah.
Like she was on
Yeah, okay,
drugs,
great,
actual drugs.
Great. Color of Friendship 9,
Maybe.
Xenon 8.
I wasn't on drugs.
Genius
You
7.
needed to clear that up.
Alley Cat's Strike is now
My
at
dad listens to this
6.
podcast.
Don't Look Under the Bed is now at 5. So those two have flopped or
Alley Cat
swapped
Strike at what?
at 6. Don't Look Under the Bed is now
That's
at
really
5. And then I have Halloween Town at 4. Smart House has moved down to 3. Johnny Tsunami up to 2. Brink at 1.
Brink's still at 1.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Johnny Tsunami moved up.
Yeah, you're getting there. All right, I have some movement in my top 10. I also had Rip Girls at 14. The only 2 movies worse than Rip Girls, You Lucky Dog and The 13th Year. And I got to be honest, I battled real hard with 13th Year and Rip Girls, but I gave Rip Girls the nod there. And I have Horse Sense right above Rip Girls as being a better movie than Rip Girls, for what that's worth. Number 10 on my list.
It was Andy Lawrence's acting in the treehouse.
It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the treehouse scene. He's throwing boards. He's bah!
That pure grief that he was able to
It was the
portray.
paper for me. It's Joey Lawrence realizing he wrote a D paper that can solve everything. Is like, that's a classic moment that gives it to 13.
Gives hope to students
That's right.
everywhere.
My D paper that clearly has a good understanding on land trust. Say we.
Number 10 is Alley Cat Strike for me. 9, Color of Friendship. 8, Smart House. 7, Up and Away. 6, down to 6 is Genius. Starting to see the light a little bit on Genius.
Wow. Genius was in your top 3?
Top 3 or 4, I think.
Wow.
Genius, I still enjoyed more than you guys did. I think the movie holds up a lot better as one of these movies goes. But I'll
Disney
agree.
doesn't know how college works.
That's right. 5,
It's really hard to get around.
Don't Look Under the Bed. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Wow. 5, Don't Look Under the Bed. 4,
you love that
4
kiss at the end there.
Xenon.
Yeah.
3, Brink. I can't believe Brink is in top
Wow.
3. 2, Halloween Town. 1, Johnny Tsunami.
Man, wasn't Brink like 6 last week or something?
No, it was 4 last week.
Man.
It moved up 1 spot. Genius moved down. So Xenon, Don't Look Under the Bed, and Brink all moved up.
I like what's happening there. I like what's happening.
Are we going to get to a point where Brink is your number 1?
There is no way.
There's a way.
No.
God
Johnny
will
Tsunami
make
is
a way
unequivocally better
where
than
there
Brink.
seems to be
He's just
no
the best
way.
person.
He works in ways we cannot see.
Here's what I'll say. Go ahead.
He will make a way for me.
Here's what I'll
He
say.
will be. Go ahead.
Yes, Dan?
Is that
My God.
the simplicity of Brink is starting to become a feature, not a bug. So when I saw it the first time, I'm like, this is it. This is the movie that I've just been hearing raves about. Like it is a game changer. And it is so basic. It's just such a basic movie.
It's a basic
Yeah,
thing.
It's a basic B of a movie. But compared to movies like, Smart House, where they try high concept and it just do it wrong.
Smart House.
Smart house.
Or Color of Friendship, which like tries to cure race relations, even though they're already cured in America, according to the movie. Or Alley Cat Strike, which is just a disaster. Sweet Lou in the house. Like all of a sudden, it's like Brink didn't try to be anything more than a 5 of 10. And it is 10 of 10 at being a 5 of 10. And for that, it probably is going to stick around in the middle there somewhere a lot longer than other movies. Whereas all these other movies don't do that. I think Halloween Town, Johnny Tsunami, clearly better. Xenon and Don't Look Under the Bed might be for what they try to do, because they try to be better than Brink.
Speaking of Halloween Town, we're a week late at this point, but can we talk for a second about how Kimberly J. Brown and Daniel got married?
Who? What?
The stars of Halloween Town 2 just got married.
Halloween Town 2?
Yeah, we haven't got
All right,
there.
I don't
We haven't
know
got
who
there
those
yet.
are.
Doesn't matter. Well, you know Kimberly J. Brown, Marnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marnie?
She marries the lead of Halloween Town 2.
They just got married like this year?
Yeah, like this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How about
That's
that?
fun.
All these years later.
Yeah. And they did not date like from Halloween Town 2. They reconnected a few years ago filming something and fell in love there, but it's just this fun little Halloween Town
I love that.
Yeah, a little decom romance.
Romance.
We did, everybody. Rip Girls, a thing of the past. Don't forget, today is a Blitz Day. So share this podcast with 3 different people.
3 that you know.
It would thrill us to know,
3
and
that they know.
if that would happen. Leave a review. We're trying to get to 100.
Think of like a pyramid.
But like it's not a pyramid.
No.
But like you just think of one.
We got 4 episodes left to get to 100 reviews. I think we can do it. If we all band together and we really believe in ourselves.
Grab your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncle's phone and just put a 5-star in. Mm-hmm. We believe in you.
Should you go to the Apple Store and just start working your way down the devices that are there?
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
I don't know if that would work, but it's just a lot of devices.
I think you'd have to have an account, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I think it's a different account. Whatever.
I don't know. Try it.
Next week, everybody. Miracle in Lane 2. Very excited about it.
Frankie Muniz joint.
We'll be back. Until then.
Decom City.
Decom City.
Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Brandon Gray and that Greenville, South Carolina at the Bramble Jam Podcast Studio Network. For more information on Decom Descendants, you can go to @DecomDescendants or decompodcast.com. Thank you.